Let's get started in a child's pose. Child of your choosing. Knees apart or knees together. Knees apart, of course, is going to give you more opening in the hips. Knees together, more in the low back. Fingers reaching. Forehead landing on the mat. It can be a big pose at the beginning of class. So if you were able to track down a book or a block substitute, you can always bring it under your third eye center. Or if you like that intensity in the shoulders, don't worry about it. Just forehead to mat. As you're settling down into this child's pose, I'm coming up so I can talk to you a little bit easier. Hopefully you can hear me. We're looking to put a lot of space in our vertebra. And we're always really mindful of our shoulders, but let them roll open and release a little bit here. Find a lot of space in your back, the whole back, low back, upper back. You can feel the warm breath on your face with your forehead connected to that. You can feel it in the backs of your lungs. Really making a connection with your breathing. Breath or pranayama, our life force. When we learn to control our breath, we control so much more. It's a great tool when things get overwhelming, when you don't want to react, when you need to put a space between you and an emotion you're feeling. So really try and make a deep connection with your breath this morning. Completely focused on the inhales and exhales, head clearing out in the process. So this connection of third eye center to mat. I always tell you it's a grounding pose, a little massage for our intuition, great for the sinuses. I want you to, if you want to go beyond the breath and set an intention for your practice, if it's a word or a phrase, a person you're dedicating your practice to, I want you to see them right there in your mind's eye. The whole focus goes towards that one intention. And everything surrounding it shuts off. You're completely here, completely focused on that one intention, even if it's your breath. Next inhale, come to a tabletop. We're going to really spread through our fingers. Soften our elbows, stack our knees under our hips. And let's inhale, roll up a cow. Exhale, arc, lift our spine for the cat. Connecting breath to our movements. Really try and slow your breathing down. Maybe you even pause at the top of your inhale and hold the cow a little bit longer. And then when you exhale and you round, arcing spine up high for your cat, maybe you pause at the bottom of that exhale, going a little deeper. Opening up the back. Remember, back bends later in our practice. So our whole focus will be on opening the back. Right now we're just getting lost in this connection of breath to movement. Alright, one final inhale, look up, go deep. Exhale, neutral table, fingers spread. Give the toes a little curl under here before we get moving and opening up our back. Let's open up the bottoms of our feet. Taking a little walk back, nice and slow. And I'll always tell you, never worry, your hands never have to leave the mat if your feet are tight. The hands could absolutely come up onto your legs if you're looking for deeper opening. Wherever you're at, a couple deep breaths. Feel free to close your eyes, check in with your face, make sure it's soft. Take a little walk forward, uncurl, a couple little taps for the top of the feet. And maybe more hip step, walk your hands forward, melt your heart to the mat. Chin or forehead down in our heart melting pose. Big release for the fronts of the shoulders. If you feel tense at all, take a deep breath, tell body, hey, it's okay to soften. Inhale, walk up, nice and slow. Exhale, arc your cat, lift your spine high. Inhale, cow for good measure. And then return to neutral, fingers spread, elbows soft. Give your toes a curl, lift your seat, down dog. Pedal the heels towards the mat, lift your seat up high. Give your hands a little walk forward. I know I always shorten up my first down dog. Don't be tempted. Pressing the heels away. Really press through the thumb and index. Safe wrists, lifted seat, pedaling heels. Give your toes a walk to your hands. Or I should say your hands a walk to your toes. My apologies. We are landing in a forward fold at the back of our mat. Inhale, lift up. I love that halfway lift, lengthen the spine so we can better hinge from our waist and put lots of space in our back. I'm going to encourage you to interlace your hands by your head, behind your head, and invite a little back opening press. Though you know if you're terribly uncomfortable, you can change it up, let the arms hang or grab elbows. Keep the knees nice and soft. Little swings. If you are interlaced behind the head, I want you to play taking right elbow, left knee. Keep your knees soft. Come center, and then left elbow, right knee. Lots of space in our backs. Release, come center. Drop your hands. Soften knees so much, hands come to the mat. We're going to walk through our down dog, right to our high plank. We're going to spread through our fingers, thumb and index. Remember how important that is. Seat in a line with the shoulders. Inhale your hips up, back to downward facing. Exhale, high plank. Inhale up. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, seat up, downward facing dog. Walk your toes into your hands and come into your forward fold. One more time. Inhale, half lift. Big hinge from the waistline. This time grab your elbows, change it up, shake out your head, sway out your torso, releasing low back. You could even swing your arms all the way to the pinky edge outside of one foot. How does that feel? Release your hands. Take a nice slow roll to stand. Head will come up last. Tadasana, mountain pose. Just give the shoulders a shrug or two. Lift up the heart. It's a beautiful sunny Sunday. Let's salute the sun with our sun salutation A. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hinge at the waist. Inhale, half lift. High plank. We save the exhale for when we lower. We inhale. I'm coming up to an up dog. Maybe you're coming to a cobra. Toes curl. Seat lifts. Downward facing. Some paddles. Exhale to the top. Inhale up half. Exhale, hinge. Inhale up all the way. Tadasana, mountain pose. Exhale, back bend. Open your heart. Inhale, center. Exhale, hinge at the waistline. Inhale, come up half. Hands to mat, high plank. Exhale as you lower to the belly or just halfway to chaturanga. Inhale, look up. Curl the toes, lift the seat. Paddle. Almost as though you're trying to press your mat away. Let the wrist nice and safe. All right? Inhale, sends the right toes up to the ceiling. Exhale, tap knee, nose. Little heat in the core. Inhale, back. Exhale, tap. Inhale, back. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Get your knees stacked on top of your ankle. Drop the left knee. Uncurl the left toes. It'll press to the top of the foot, pressure out of the knee. Left hand's down. Fingers spread. Inhale, right arm up. Stack your wrist right on top of your shoulder. Engage your core. Remember, we're opening back. Take the right hand to your low back. See this little half bind? Wake up the front of your right shoulder. Take your right hand down. Frame your foot. All right, ready? We're going to come up, Anjaneyasana. Of course, your hands never have to leave the mat. If you have your block or your book, you could come up to block or book length, or you could come up hands on knee. I love Anjaneya. I put it in my classes a lot. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. So this is that back bend prep. If you want it, you can inhale your hands up. Add a little bit of a back bend here. But we're really waking up our hip flexor, which is important in some of our back bends. Big inhale. Exhale, hands back down to knee. All right. I'm going to steady my right hand on my right leg I'm going to see if I can't bend my left knee and see if I can't catch the top of my foot in my hands. No worries if you can't. Maybe you're just playing with the bending today. It's going to be a big quad stretch. Take a big inhale here. Gently set your left foot down, and on this wood floor it's a little hard on my knees. So give your toes a curl under, activate, come up into a low lunge, and just get a little rock going. How does that feel? Hinging back and forth, foot, making a little space in our hips. And then we'll send our right foot back. We'll land in our high plank. We'll inhale our seat up, downward facing. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, seat up. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, seat up. And stay for the exhale. Now inhale your left toes, get a nice reach going. Exhale, tap knee and nose. Inhale back. Exhale, tap. Inhale back. This time when we exhale, we step our left foot between our hands. Get the stack, knee on top of ankle, right knee down, right toes uncurled. Top of the foot presses into mat, pressure out of knee. Spread through right hand. We're going to inhale, sweep left up, wrist stacks on top of shoulder. Engage your core, wake up your entire back. Now I'm going to take my left hand to the low back, another half bind, really focusing on opening front of left shoulder. Inhale right into your left side shoulder, your left side long, nice and open. Side up. Left hand comes down, bring your foot. All right. Setting up that Ajna, don't forget, press your top of right foot. Hands never have to leave, but hands could definitely come to knee. It's the right hip flexors feeling it. Knee stack down ankle. Don't be afraid to pick up hips and sink a little deeper. Tops of shoulders soft. Getting used to waking up the hip flexor, which will be great for our back bends to come. Practicing a little breath control. All right, if you're feeling safe and comfortable, hands might come up. Maybe you introduce a little back bend, a touch of compression in your spine. Soften the tops of those shoulders. Now come down, back to knee. I'm going to use my left hand steady on my left knee, and I'm going to play with bending my right knee. And if this is as far as you get, you're still getting a stretch, you're still changing the pose. Maybe you are grabbing the top of your foot. Whenever we switch sides, I always ask you to check in from side to side. You might notice a big change. And it'll tell you a lot about your body. It might tell you a lot about your gait if you think about it the next time you're walking. A few breaths here. All right, big inhale. And then set your right foot down. Give your right toes a curl under. Take pressure off the knee. Pick up your right foot. And just take little rocks back and forth. Little wake up to the leg and the hip. Sometimes we get little sticky spots in our hip. And this little rock should help us now step our left foot back into our high plank. Inhale our seat up high. Drop your knees. Uncurl your toes. And find child's pose one more time. Tune into your intention. See it in your mind's eye. Tune into your breath. If you chose that over an intention, see it in your mind's eye. Inhale, walk your hands towards you. You might need to spread your knees mat distance apart. We're going to walk up. Walk our hands behind us. And inhale our hips up. Open chest. Little compression in low back. Lower your feet. Draw your knees together. Walk your hands forward into a table. Give your toes a curl. Lift your feet. Down dog. Take a couple rounds of pedals here. Exhale, come to the top of your mat. Inhale, come up half. Take a dive. And on the inhale, seat goes back, hands come up, Utkatasana or chair pose. Shoulders are soft, weights and heels, chest is lifted. All right, let's continue opening up the back. Take your hands to your heart. Inhale your chest forward and take a twist to the right. Hook your left elbow. Make sure your left knee doesn't pop in front of your right. Press through your palms. Engage your core. Ready, little challenge? Pick up your left heel. Send your left foot back. Land in a crescent lunge. Keep engaging core. Keep pressing through palms. Inhale, sweep your hands up. High crescent lunge. Soften the shoulders. Perfect. Inhale, fill. Exhale, frame. Step back to high plank. And this time we'll take a flow. Lowering all our head. Inhale the back bend. Look up. Round up. Pedaling and pressing the mat away. Exhale to the top. Inhale up half. Dive. And inhale your seat back, your hands up, chair or Utkatasana. Sink deep, hands to the heart. We'll inhale the chest forward. Exhale, we're hooking to the left. Right elbow, left knee, pressing through the palms, engaging the core. Big wake up to the back. Pick up right heel, step your right foot back, land in that revolve crescent. Keep engaging the core. Inhale, sweep your hands up. Big crescent lunge. How does the hip flexor feel? Soften the tops of the shoulders, big inhale. Exhale, frame. Step back into a high plank. Lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And hold. Stay for a breath. Now downward facing, lift up your seat. Walk your hands to your toes. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, dive down, forward fold, and hang out. The variation of your choosing. I'm really interested in waking up my shoulders, so I'm going to interlace my fingers, bring hands overhead. You might choose to grab your toes or your elbows. Doesn't matter. Keep your knees soft. Stay focused on your breath. Hands come down. And take a nice slow roll up to standing. No head rushes. All right. I feel like it's been a while since we've taken a dancer pose. So if you know you like a little extra stability, come to a wall for this little balance pose. We're going to start on the left. So I want you to pick up your right heel, shift the weight to your left foot. You know, I always ask you to find a connection in the ball of your foot and your heel. So let those bones connect to your mat, almost like they're growing roots. Right knee is up. We're going to bend it, line it with our left knee. Get a nice little quad stretch going. Heart's lifted, core is engaged. If you're using the wall for stability, you've just got your left hand on the wall. We're opening up our quad. Start training your gaze at a non-moving point on the floor or even the wall ahead of you. And I want you to sort of unfocus your gaze. That's your drishti. Imagine that gaze holding you up as you start to kick into your right leg and find your dancer like a bow. So we've got a nice big arc in our back. We've grown roots through our left foot, which is nice and steady. Our toes and our left knee are soft. Maybe the left hand comes out. Maybe not today. Good thing we woke up our hip flexors, right? Keep looking at that non-moving point. Doesn't matter how many times you come out and readjust as long as you get back in. Woo. Inhale, left hand up. Right knee in line with left. Core engaged, chest lifted. Drop your right foot. Take your big steps. Reset knees. Tops of feet down. All right. Right side. Pick up left heel. Shift the weight into your right foot. You look for the heel ball connection so we're not gripping with our toes and risking foot cramps. Right knee soft. I'm going to take my right hand to the wall again. Then I'm going to shift my weight completely as I bend into my left knee. Get my knee lined up with my right knee. I'm going to pull my belly button in and engage my core. Just hanging out at the calf wake up. Start finding that focus for your gaze, your drishti. We look for a non-moving point to steady us. Slow your breathing. Exhale, start to kick into your left leg. Right hand never has to leave the mat. We're looking to play with arc in our low back. We're looking to wake up our quad. We're keeping, see, it doesn't matter how many times you fall out, our left hip pointed towards the mat. Our right hand can always come in front once you feel steady. If it never leaves the wall, no worries. Use this balance pose to focus on your breathing. And then inhale, come up. Line your knees, lift your heart, everything down, step it out. All right. Inhale, sweep your hands up. Exhale, hinge. Up halfway. Dive down, hang out. Knees soft. Swaying and opening up low back in whatever variation you choose. Shaking out your head. All right, release your elbows. This is going to be our final flow. You can always skip it, but you might want to take it knowing it's the last. Inhale, come up half. High plank. Lower. Inhale, up dog to cobra. Curl your toes. Lift your seat. Pedal your heels. How do those legs feel? Drop your knees. Uncurl your toes. And we are, again, coming to a child's pose. I want you to find lots and lots of space in your spine after that big dancer pose, which kind of compressed it. This is a moment to slow your breath, to come back to your mind's eye, that one point of focus. Check in both mentally and physically. And then practice turning everything off but that one point of concentration. Inhale, find your tabletop. Head on to your knees, low knees down. So, if you have a hardwood floor, maybe you're even on some tile, you could always give your mat a roll and create some extra cushion for your knees. We are going to be here for just a moment. So we're looking to stack our hips directly over our knees. Our knees are about hip distance apart. Alright? So we open up our quads, our hip flexors, and we play with compressing our back for this pose specifically. So I want you to engage your quads, stack your hips, the whole low body is engaged. Hands come to the back. Like we're putting our fingers in some invisible pockets. Most importantly, right now, we're drawing our elbows together and squeezing our shoulder blades together. I've heard teachers say, imagine like you're squeezing a pencil between your shoulder blades or a penny. This is the setup for this pose. Engage low body, bend coming from that sort of inbendable place in our mid-back. Learning how to open our spine in new ways. Opening up our heart and our throat to the ceiling. Eyes look up. Inhale, look forward. Hands drop to your sides. Ooh, how does the back feel? I prefer to sit down on my heels and find a hero's pose. It's a bit of an intense stretch for your heels and your shins. But I love it because it means nice neutral spine. If it's too intense for your lower legs, you could always take a table instead. Both are very neutralizing to our spine. Regardless of what you choose, take a few moments here for breath. So if you did opt to neutralize the spine in the heroes, let's all tip forward to table. So everyone's meeting here. And I want you to exhale and arc up nice and high into a cat pose. Inhale your cow. Your cow kind of might feel like that camel when it was stressed on that we used to. Exhale, part. Inhale, cow. Let's exhale one more cat, big rounding. And inhale to neutral. Walk your hands up. Back to knee stand. Don't forget you can use the rolled up mat under your knees. We are stacking our hips over our knees. hands could come to the back pockets. That's one way to modify. But if you have your book or even a yoga block, you could take a regular half camel with one of these things very near your heel. Or you could use the heel itself. You can give your toes a curl under. That will put pressure on your knee, but it'll bring you up about 3 inches higher. I'll demo all. So quads engaged, hip step. You could come back to hands in pockets. It's a great pose, especially if it's the one that works for you. Right hand can find book or block by the heel. The setup's the same with the quads and the hip step. Left hand coming forward, and I like to eventually bring it back. Heart, throat open. The toes curled under using the heel. The toes uncurled. Just make sure your low body is stepped. The bend comes from your back. The heart opens up towards the ceiling, making space for love and compassion. Keep breathing. These are intense poses. Don't hold your breath. Inhale your eyes up. Woo. Look forward. Stack your vertebrae. I'm going to sit down to a hero's. Don't forget, you can always come to a tabletop if this hero's just isn't working for your ankles and your shins. So check in with the back. Maybe take just a tiny bit of rounding and then find neutral. Shoulders are soft, face is soft. Every exhale clears your head. Deep back bends like camels can be quite emotional. If it made you feel a little anxious, if it brought up some memories, it's okay. It's okay to have the mind infiltrated. Our practice comes with clearing out those thoughts, with saying, I'm not going to attach anything to them. I'm going to acknowledge them and send them away. And that's the kind of yoga you take off the mat. If you're in camel, let's tip forward. Let's find our table. We're going to start by taking an exhale and an arc. It can be quite shallow at first. We'll inhale cow. Ooh. Exhale a nice arcing cat, really waking up space in the vertebra. Find connection between breath and movement. One more. Exhaling, big arc into our cat. Make it your biggest spine arc yet. Neutral table. Head back to the knees. All right. Our third and final camel. So you know that you can always take it with hands on the back, drawing shoulder blades, elbows together. It's a great foundational pose. It's a great chest opener. And it really shows you how to use the legs and the back in this pose. You know, you have block or book. Now on your left, that's an option. You have heel turned under if you don't have a block or a book, or you're looking to go deeper. Or you have foot down, deepest yet. Doesn't matter what you choose. What matters is that the quads are engaged, the hips are stacked, the bend's coming from your back. The heart is lifted, the throat is open. Right hand reaches forward, and then maybe back. If you want to come to full, you can take your right hand to your heel, Hello, stacking low body, bending in through the back, opening up throat, heart. Whatever you do, don't stop breathing. So tempting to hold the breath in a back bend, but here's when you need it the most. Inhale your head up. Come up high into your knees, stand. Check in with your low back. It might feel a little tight. Have a seat, possibly in heroes. Feel free to find your table if that's your preferred. Now if you've been taking this heroes and your ankles and your shins are open, your knees feel good, you could take it a step deeper. Take your knees apart. Drop your torso between. Of course you can't see because I'm wearing black pants. But my heels are now on the outsides of my hips. If it feels safe in your knees, if it doesn't, heroes or tabletop. Heroes are on the ankles. You know what matters most here is that your spine is nice and neutral. You're practicing letting go of any thoughts or feelings that camel may have stirred up. Alright, let's pick up the seat. We're going to meet any tabletops here. Let's exhale, arc a cat like we've been doing. Inhale, cow, and make it a shallow one. We've really been compressing the back a lot. Really play with the space, exhales. We'll take one more. Inhale, that shallow cow. We'll come back to a table, and let's have a seat in our final child's pose. Just a nice counterbalance for the low back, lots of space in the spine. How are you feeling? A little bit more grounded? Is it easier now to disconnect from your thoughts and your feelings? To tune into your mind's eye, your intuition, and focus on that point of concentration? Inhale, find your table, head to your seat. Let's come into our very wide V with nice soft knees. Doesn't matter what your V looks like. It's as wide as you'd like to take it. We're going to put space in our low back. So inhale, length, and just start to walk forward, hinging at your waistline. Wake up to the insides of the hips, the insides of the thighs. You can put your elbows down, grab your ankles, so long as you're inhaling length and hinging at your waist. Walk up. Walk over to that right side leg. Just walk down. Heart over knee. Hands by your side. I love this stretch, not just for the back of the leg, but especially for the side body and the low back. I always offer, you can drop a forearm and sort of take your torso over your right leg. You're going to really open up left side body, one of my all-time favorite stretches. This is for anyone with low back issues. Giving your side body a good stretch will really help with any low back tightness, or should help with any low back tightness. Take a couple big inhales to left side body. Inhale, come up. Oh, find some length, a nice neutral spine in the center. Then turn towards your left, heart over knee, fold it. So you might really feel it right now in the top of your right hip and the back of your left leg. Maybe you choose to stay, but if you are going to play with dropping your left forearm and bringing your torso over your left leg, notice how that changes the pose. Bring the attention more to side body, still getting the back of the leg. A real game changer here. Inhale, come up, back to neutral, long spine. Guide legs together, be mindful, hips might be a little tender. Bend the knees, windshield wiper. And keeping your knees bent, start heading to your back. All right. So our back is relaxed to the mat. You know I like to really take a moment when we transition from standing to supine. Let's take our feet to the edges of our mat. Let knees fall together in the center. Really expanding into our low back here. Right hand to belly, left to heart. Once again, connecting with our breath, our life force. Take your knees apart. Heel toe your soles back to center. And I like to exhale, squeeze my knees in. Just making a lot of space in the low back. A couple massaging reps. Plant your feet. Place right ankle, left knee. And we're just going to come into some some reclined pigeon poses. So interlacing behind the left thigh or on top of the left shin. Maybe adding a little gentle rock to really loosen up your hips. You know you want soft shoulders and a relaxed face. check in with your intention. See it clearly. It's such a bright, shining light that all other thoughts that try and enter are darkened. You're so focused on this one point, whether it's breath, or word, or phrase, that it almost becomes a meditation. You see it, you hear it, you repeat it. Continuing that focus on intention, draw your figure 4 to the left. And you know I give you options. I love the fallen figure 4 if you can see it. But if it does not work for you, you can always cross leg over or uncross. This final twist of class is really just about wringing out any lingering tension in the body and any lingering thoughts in the mind. Bring your legs center. Unwind them. Give them a hug. Take a little rock and squeeze, unless, of course, you prefer windshield wipers. Soles plant. Right away, left ankle comes to right knee. We find a reclined pigeon. Feeling the shoulders soften towards the mat, maybe taking a gentle little hip releasing rocks. Letting the body melt into this pose. We're here just a couple more rounds of breath. Fill up. And exhale your figure 4 to the right. If you know you have options for your final twist, you're finding the one that works best for your body. And then you're releasing. Practicing a little release before we come to the Savasana. Bring your head center, take your legs in, unwind, maybe that tucking, hugging, squeeze. Maybe you prefer windshield wipers of knees. Whatever gets your low back to a good place. And then we'll end with that final squeeze, that final draw up. Big hug. Exhale. Savasana. what you do in your savasana is definitely something you should take with you off your mat. This is where we learn to release our body piece by piece. Go into your points of tension and say, time to soften. Once the whole body is relaxed, you can invite a few moments of stillness. No need to move because your body is completely supported and relaxed into the floor below you. This is when you practice moving away from your intention, even your breath, which just becomes a steady rise and fall. And you look to remain aware, but unfocused on any one thing. This is your meditation. Inhale, deep breath. Find movement in the hands and the feet. A little reach of toes, an opening, closing of fingers. The neck wakes by turning the head. Oh, a full body stretch. And a roll to right or left. We say right for grounding, left for energy. A pause. Reborn. A little stronger and a little calmer. Press to the easy seats. And dear yogis, I will say as always, thank you for sharing in this practice with me. Namaste.